flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you again very much. Appreciate you all being here this evening. We do have a special occasion. One of our officers being promoted. So without further ado, I'll do a resolution so it's official, and then Christine will do the swearing-in ceremony. Okay? Let's see. Okay. All right, so for resolution 25-0119, promotion of village police officer Michael Levy to detective position effective today, Monday, July 21st, 2025. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Donna,
Give it to Steve.
second. Give it to Steve.
I'll second.
We'll pass the motion to Steve. You have a second. Any questions, comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent. Okay. Christine?
Right, Mike?
Michael?
Before you're ahead of me.
You guys see on one leg.
Ready? I, Michael Levy,
I, Michael Levy,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the constitutions
that I will support the constitutions
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of New York,
and the state of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of police detective
of police detective
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Great job. You do a great job.
Thank you very much.
Picture.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
More pictures.
You know, take some pictures, take some pictures.
Pictures.
You want some with the family or what?
Yeah, I'll be back.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
That was easy, huh? Cool, good. All right. So we'll jump right into, normally our next step would be public comment on agenda items. Anyone have any questions? Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah, the meeting gets really exciting from this point. Always quick as you can go.
I was willing to wait it out.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so take it easy.
Thank you.
I don't know, we're missing the front row. Okay. All right, without further ado then,
I appreciate the support.
we'll go right into the announcements. So we did receive from the New York Conference of Mayors a request for signature, and actually it's an email response, but there are three bills that are out there to support the EMS ambulance corps and so forth that are out there, and they're all positive in a sense for EMS departments and how they can be exempt. For an example, there's one that's an A34 S31, which provides toll exemptions on New York State throughways for emergency vehicles, enabling faster emergency response. It's hard to believe that an ambulance for that service would have to stop and potentially pay tolls. There's another which is A80, 86, and S7501, requires county, cities, towns, and villages collaboratively to develop a comprehensive county EMS system plan to assess needs, identify service gaps, and guide of future investments. And the third is an A2177 and an S1515, which excludes EMS expenditures from real property tax cap, giving municipalities the flexibility to properly fund the EMS services without compromising other critical needs. So everyone's had that, so the plan, with your permission, I will electronically sign that and get it back up to the governor's desk. So we are showing our support for the emergency family out there. Okay, so number 2, we recently had a printer, our lease was ending on our copiers, one here and one at the police department. They have been changed out, and the new printers have been installed. And thanks to Vernon, we did get a better deal. We're paying less, so with newer equipment, and that's a good deal. So thank you, Vernon, for getting that done. Let's see, the new, we discussed over the last couple of meetings, this AccuData, which is time clocks in the payroll system. We had our kickoff meeting last week, and it's actually a pretty fast process. These guys have done, this company, AccuData, has done this before plenty of times. So our go live actually will be on August 1st of 2025. They're doing a lot of work currently. They'll be running a parallel test in the payroll system to make sure, obviously, all the numbers work out, et cetera. And we do have some training online tomorrow with the AccuData trainers. So real good progress on that. And again, we'll be live on that system in August. We also did a door security system upgrade in this building with fob technology, which is basically a little touch device. So it pretty much covers the interior doors in our lobby area. That was safety purposes, because sometimes when we have court in here, the court is asked to, or the people in the audience are asked to leave while something is going on in the court, and while they're out there could be 15 to 20 to 30 people standing in the lobby area, and we're here kind of late, so it makes sense that the doors were protected, and we have a fob for the front door, and so we have software. We know when people are in and out. We also have another security system that was also put in there with other technologies, so that's good, and it's running, and everything is going well. Chief, I wanted just to put on there that, you know, your grant that you got several months ago, probably in early spring, that the 2 police cars are coming along. One is just about complete with the paint job, you know, stickers, lights, and all that good stuff, and I think the other one is not far behind that, so hopefully we'll be able to have these 2 new vehicles on the road. Probably going to retire one, and the better of both one of those cars we're going to use down here at the Village Hall if we need it for any business. DPW was short a vehicle, so we gave them the old building inspector's car that we were using, so the DPW superintendent's been primarily driving that around, and we'll see where that goes. Okay. Department of Public Works CDL training. So some good news on this part. Since we got into office, we found that the number, if not all, except for maybe 2 guys, did not have their CDL licensing. And I'm happy to report that now I think we have 3 or 4 that are in the stream pipeline to get their CDLs. Angel just actually passed his air brake test, and so technically he's able to drive larger trucks and B-class type licenses. So we're very happy the guys have stepped up and taken that big step, and now we can look forward to getting away from pickup trucks and start going to the larger dump trucks that will help us tremendously during projects, paving, whatever else we're doing in-house, and also helping other municipalities as they also help us in larger projects. Yes?
Paul Lang, who we using for a training provider for that?
I think there's a couple, and I don't know that, I think there's one like in Newburgh. I don't know the name offhand though.
How much we pay?
It varies on what they're taking, because the air brake test, I think I just saw an invoice, it was like $30-something. There was another one, for another test, it was like $65
The ELDT training?
for the CDL training.
Entry-level driver training, they gotta be paid.
Whatever they need to do is what they're taking.
Could you get prices on it? It's a lot of money. I'm just
Well, so
curious.
far, the stuff that we've seen come back, we only know of 2 schools.
It's only $30 for the test, for the airport test, but
Right.
that's not the complete, that's not the complete required instruction with the federal motor carrier now.
So what prices would you
Oh.
determine?
Per person?
Yeah, like $2,500? Somewhere?
Three
Yeah.
up.
Okay. Yeah, we were in the 2,500 range, but I could get the name of the company that we're
Yeah.
using.
So maybe that's why we should, require that as a, it's been mentioned before, require a CDL as condition of employment.
Well, the next round it will. All these guys were pretty much here. We did hire somebody who has a CDL. So that is the standard now that we want CDLs. And it's, in some cases when we were applying, we weren't getting anybody with a CDL.
You know,
Hard to believe, but and some of it might have been towards the salary, but that has, when you have a CDL, there is a kick in your hourly rate. So, as an incentive to get the licenses, and then
So
the guys will be here.
Just as a suggestion, what we used to do in the bus company, when I was up in Gallagher, we used to train them to be bus drivers, train them to get their CDL.
Right.
After they got their license, because it's an expensive license, the company kept, if they didn't have the passenger and school bus endorsement, it would be one price, and if they didn't have any CDL at all, it would be another price. They would hold back, basically making them pay, it was free training. We would hold back that money and it would go toward the cost of training. Why should we be paying for their training to do the job, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why should we be paying $3,000 to hire this person to get him his CDL? Why are we doing that?
Well, again, most of these guys have been here several years, probably during
I
your
think a lot of
term.
guys we hired didn't have CDL, you just said that.
Right, I know, and that's, now we're trying to get them to the point
For us.
to get them their CDLs, and as an incentive, and to get a bump in their salary. If they didn't take the class, and they don't have a CDL, all the guys we have here are very good, but we want everybody to have their CDLs so that it just makes sense, like we did years ago. And then it fell off, and then all of a sudden, we were hiring and hiring guys with just D licenses, no CDL.
And I'm just saying that they should be paying for that CDL license.
But there are companies out there that once they hire employees, that continuing education is a perk of the job.
Okay,
Yeah.
continuing, but this is not continuing, this is initially getting their CDL license.
And I often wonder too, because I passed this bus company up in New Windsor, and during the summer months or last year or something, they were giving sign-on bonuses for like almost $6,000. So,
Not West Point Tours, they're not 6,000.
well, I don't know if they own a lot across the street, but there was a
They do.
banner,
They
and
do,
it was substantial money. But, that's the route we went, because again, at this point, we felt it was a good incentive for these guys to do it. And they have to stay with us at least 2 years. They can't jump, we don't get their training and they move on. So we've got them for 2 years, and then you wanna go, it's great. Do what you gotta do to make yourself happy and be successful. in
Is that
wherever
the
you wanna go.
contract, is that contractual, the 2 years?
Yeah. So, and again, last 2 years, there really wasn't, for whatever reason, not a lot of interest in it. But now all of a sudden, the guys are interested in stepping up, because they see what we are hiring are guys with CDLs. So it just kind of entices them, I think, to also, take that step. And it's good for us, it's good for the department. So we look at it as a positive.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
DPW have a CDL.
Yeah. And to tell you the truth, Ben, I don't know, I know what the major difference is, but whatever the cost is too, but a lot of guys are going for their A license, right? Not even their B, because then you can drive tractor trailers and every other thing. So, and if we ever get into a situation where we have a tractor trailer, You can drive it, like two of our guys, are actually, one, Steve, he's an A-class driver. So if we had a reason to, he could drive it. So, yeah, it's good. Anyone else have any comments? All right. Next on the billing department, monthly, bi-monthly status report. Would you like to give it, or would you like me to?
Well, just for the month, I mean,
This is half the month of July.
every 2 weeks, they put out, the building department puts out an update on revenue. So for this month, there were 7 building permits issued, 10 COs, 2 violations, 1 municipal search, and no fire safety inspections. The amount that was brought in, collected, was $1,187. That said, that's not the average.
No.
I took the last 5 months or so, added them up, divided, and we average about 5,350-ish a month in revenue. And if you ask
Yeah.
why were there no fire safety inspections, because since we did our IMA with Blooming Grove, they came in September-ish and went full force, got them all done by around February. March completed. That had not been done in years. So now every business will annually get a fire safety inspection. So the next round should be starting around September, October. We have about, $191,000 in the building department or so.
Yeah, that's been fees that we came in, I think there wasn't a couple $100 in that account. We haven't touched it, and all the fees since then have almost $200,000. So, I'm pretty proud of that. Sorry?
For music.
Yes, and we'll see, yeah. I mean, it's an advantage to have than have not.
Absolutely.
Right, thank you very much. All right, an update on the playground equipment for Memorial Park. The ground has gotten to a position where we can finally start to dig the holes for the mounting brackets and everything else that needs to be done, the sonic tubes for the playground equipment. So with weather permits, we should have the other 2 new pieces of equipment installed by Friday. And so that's our goal for that. And then we also have our grant that's still out there trying, I believe it's $135,000 that we're trying to enhance and have the park a little bit bigger again with some newer equipment. So I think it's moving in the right direction on that. Orange and Rockland Utilities came across this streetlight manager person, and we started to have a conversation about, streetlights. There was a conversation that I had brought to the table one time that we were thinking about maybe purchasing the streetlights, because there's supposed to be some financial, probably like solar. When you go buy solar, right, you got a little bit, you're paying your utility company supposedly less. In your solar, you're obviously paying that off, but at a lesser rate than you would be paying O&R overall. So we have 415 street lamps. Most are the old sodium and older bulb technology. We do obviously have some LEDs, but I found out that through, starts like I think September, October, we'll get a letter, and if we want to participate, O&R will install for free up to 2% or maybe a little bit. That number moves a little bit, he said, but they'll start to install all new LED lights throughout the village. So we're going to take advantage of that, and this program I think has been around, he said, since 2017. So, we're still looking at the purchase of street lamps, but if there's a lot of math that needs to go into it. There's a lot of, Wallkill did it, Village of Warwick, I believe, did it, and they were able to save, I I can't say substantial amount of money, but they're saving money. Because every street light that we have, regardless if it's on or off, we pay for, and that's why it's important if you do see a light out to say something. And when the lights, the other thing is that there's a premium on maintenance. They charge you a maintenance fee on the light just for the sake of having that in your pocket at some point down the road if they have to change a bulb. So, the street lights are on, everything's fine, but we're still paying maintenance on this stuff, which is really what would go away at the end of the day. So we'll keep you apprised of what's going on with that. Also, we're expecting in probably 3 weeks a draft of our village employee handbook. And again, Vernon worked really hard on, so it was really good stuff. Company is really very well prepared. They've done us a lot, so we can't wait to get our hands on this handbook and take a look at it. We had a kickoff meeting with this gentleman who went through, I don't know how many questions in July, July 2nd. So it was about 6 weeks before we would get a draft, and so as soon as we get that, we'll let you know what that looks like. And then number 11 is really, we have to turn it into a resolution for a grant application for a vac truck and a Sewell Park grant. So the grant is going to be in the neighborhood of $800,000 for Sewell Park and approximately $350,000 for the vac truck. How much is it now? 325. Okay. 325 on the vac truck. So we'll do a resolution on that shortly. And that ends our announcements for the moment. Anything else from you guys? Okay. So why don't we just start with the grant application for resolution, and we'll call this 25-0124, a resolution to request Millennium grant writers to develop the grants for the vac truck in the cost of $325,000, and for Sewell Park, the development and building of the park at $800,000. Can I have a motion, please? Second? Steve? Any other questions on the board? If not, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
Mayor, 401.
I'm sorry?
401.
Oh, I'm sorry, 401. Sorry. Okay, resolution 25-0120 to approve the sidewalk cafe permit application. It was dated July 15, 2025. It was in your packet. I did not hear any comments, so it's on the agenda for the approval, and it's just going to be attached to our local law. And I was actually going to probably have one of our local businesses fill it out as a test run, just to see how they do with it, if they have any questions or problems with it.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, he will. Yeah. Okay. And if there are no other questions on that, then I guess could I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. All right, so motion from Donna. Second from Steve. Any other questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0-1. Resolution 25-0121 to approve the bid proposal for A-Tech Concrete Company in the amount of $378,400 for the North Street drainage, curbing, and sidewalk project based upon recommendations from village engineer James Farr. Have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Second, Steve. Any questions, comments? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0-1. Resolution 25-0122 to approve the agreement between the Village of Washingtonville and Village Police Chief Brian S. Sicaro for the term of March 1st, 2025 through February 28, 2029. Have a motion?
Motion.
Steve, Brian, on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
4-0-1. Resolution 250123 is to authorize budget transfers and amendments, excuse me, as necessary to effect necessary transfers of funds into Bay Village warrants. Have a motion? Steve, second. Ernie, any other questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Next would be public comment on non-agenda items.
So,
Yeah.
I don't wanna beat a dead horse, but I was a training provider registry
Okay.
when I was at the school district. And I just think that you're not really familiar with the training process with the new ELDT.
Right.
Important to when you look into it, the training provider that's doing the training. I don't know what kind of vehicles we have at the DPW now, if they're manual or automatics. But if they take their road test, let's say go to Atlantic Auto School, who is a training provider, and he does, road tests with an automatic transmission vehicle, they're gonna have an E restriction on their license. In other words, they can only drive automatic transmission vehicles.
Okay.
If they take a road test on a vehicle, on a manual transmission, they don't have that restriction, so it's just something to pass,
Okay.
maybe, and look at,
Yeah,
as they go forward.
yeah. And what do they put on it? An
They
E?
put an E restriction, which is no manual transmission. If they take the road test on it, automatic.
Automatic.
That only started in the last couple of years.
Okay. Thanks, that's good. We'll check into that tomorrow. Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah, Bill Braver, Washington Boulevard. I think at the last meeting you mentioned that the TD branch had been sold, the building was sold.
Yes.
Do we know to who it was sold? I don't mean who personally, but what they intend to do with it?
Yeah. He said
You know what I have? Sorry, Paul?
No, just
Oh.
quoted him, sorry.
I heard it was sold because the paperwork came through, but I didn't see who the buyer was.
So there's no
I
plans?
did hear a rumor, and I'll say it's a rumor because it was months before we even knew that it was sold, but I believe it was a dentist, oral surgeon kind of person.
Oh, yeah, I think you might have mentioned that.
That's what I heard.
Second, when is the project on North Street gonna start with all the paving?
So now that
concrete?
we basically approved this, it's probably 2-3 weeks for ATEC to get water their pipes and do everything they need to do, and then they're gonna start right after that. The drainage work, they're saying, could take 4 weeks, somewhere in that neighborhood, to get all the drainage out and replaced. And then from there, we'll have the paving company come in and mill it and then pave it.
So once it starts, it's gonna be like 5-6 weeks of,
Yeah,
you know,
but for most of it, and, you know, I don't know, depending on what it looks like, I guess, at the end of the day, but when the construction stuff's going on, we're gonna reroute traffic up Brotherhood. We're just gonna close that section, just because it's too dangerous, and we're hoping we can get, you know, potentially more than one crew in there if they have the ability to do that, and the size of their excavators and trucks and so forth will be.
is the section from Ahern to Taft included in the concrete portion or just the paving?
Drainage work up to Ahern, and then what's gonna happen, and then the paving will happen up to the first entrance of Taft, and that's what we're talking about doing.
Okay, because the school year's gonna be starting, so.
Yeah, I mean, they'll
Yeah.
do it with what we've done in the past, they'll just go up Brotherhood and make the left and
Well, I'm
make
sure a
the right.
lot of people come up Washington Boulevard too, to cut
Yeah,
that light and everything else.
yeah.
And last, is there any information or progress, or I'm not sure the right word, graffiti at Memorial Park?
All I can tell you is yes, and we think, well,
You guys about the removal of it?
yeah, the
Well,
graffiti.
no, not the removal of it,
The criminals?
The criminal, yeah, the restitution of it from whoever.
I'd just say it's under investigation.
Okay.
We have assessment.
Community service would be a good idea.
Yeah. Well, we ended up cleaning up what was down at Vern Allen Park, and I'm not sure if the guys had painted the back of the building yet. I think we got the okay to do that, or no?
Just ask them to give us an estimate.
Right, give us the estimate, right?
And do we know,
And then they'll be rested, I mean, I'm hoping, whoever the judge is that we find some good community service stuff to be done. Because there's a lot of stuff that we could paint at Vern Allen Park,
litter pickup, anything?
Everything.
Anything
So,
that's.
you know? Yeah.
Um,
And just as an FYI, regarding the sale, you can always go on the Orange County Clerk's website.
okay.
They have a pretty good website. You do have to pay to do the search and to pull the documents, but if it has been sold and that deed has been filed with the county clerk, it's going to be there for.
Okay, thank you. Is there, do we have a camera now at Memorial?
At Memorial?
Yeah, is there a camera that-
Memorial, yeah. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're going, actually, we're preparing Vern Allen for cameras. We're also preparing Woodfield. There's some little technology issue going on over there, but everything is installed and ready to go. And then it will be Waterworks, and I know we're gonna be also working on the municipal lot against the movement.
All right, thank you.
Okay?
So this might be a project for Paul to do, if it's still going on. So many years ago, my son lived up in Saratoga, and he went to school, the Boise School, and they did CDL training for nothing, and they taught them on the manual transmissions. And he drives those big long trucks these days, you know,
Mm-hmm.
check the settings and everything else, but you might be able to get, I don't know if Boise does that anymore.
But they have a completely different, Federal Motor Carrier started the, what they call the entry-level driver training program. And there's a specific, only specific providers to do it, and only specific, they have specific,
They themselves don't do this, you know,
I don't think Boise does it anymore, no?
because Bosie's did.
Yeah, I know, they used to,
Short
yeah.
anything, nothing.
School bus garages did it too, but now they still have to be approved training provider, TPRs. It's really changed, it's, the whole thing has changed. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Edie?
you. Edie, yes, sir.
Yeah, I saw last night, it was pretty late and I didn't get a chance to follow up on it, that there's a big county ribbon cutting tomorrow for the fireman roof place, Red Barn, on Goshen Avenue, and it was kind of confusing to me what it is. It said it's also going to be events and music
Yeah, we
and things.
just cut wind of that as well.
Do you have any more information yet?
So, building that they're in, or will be moving into, I don't know if was ready to be moved into. In other words, for an actual, I mean, maybe they're just doing the ribbon cutting just to do it, but, so it's the old Spear Cycle Shop building, and the way I heard, it's split in two, and this guy Dave, fireman, Firehouse Roofing Company, he's gonna be in the front side, I believe, is what I've been told, and he's gonna be occupying that space, and yeah, he's doing a ribbon cutting from 3 to 5, 3 to 6, and, people are invited to come in and check it out, but I didn't know if all the construction was done and everything else that needed to happen was in place, that he has his certificate of compliance, and that it's kind of open for business, so, and then I noticed on there too, I believe, it's a kind of a fundraiser thing as well for the event committee of our event committee. So they're raising funds to help them out, is what I was told.
It's a roofing company.
Pardon?
It's a roofing company.
Okay.
It just
was
happens to have the
confusing
name
that they were
fire.
going to be having events there too. It's a big, beautiful building that could be used for.
Well,
I know you had
not
mentioned,
events
you
in
know,
the front, events potentially in the back at some point, but we're not yet ready for that yet.
right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Paul.
So, three things in relation to our email during the week. Could you tell me where the water emergency was that prompted them to be pulling water on Sunday?
They've been hauling down to South Blooming Grove.
Well, that,
They've been hauling to South Blooming
yeah,
Grove.
but that's
This
the
last
water
word.
emergency you were talking about?
Yeah,
That's been going on. That's not, that's a
Well-
self-created emergency.
There's no water, there's
there's
no
no water,
water.
there's no water.
But there's
Should they
buildings.
be building? No.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Common sense, but,
So why, you know, why
Well,
are we,
bec-
why are we?
what, I mean, we go round and round with this thing, but, you know, they're hauling contractors. They've asked if they could haul.
So is TAM supplementing?
TAM
Spindler?
is hauling to South Blooming Grove.
Which, along with Spindler.
Spindler, to my understanding, is not hauling to South Blooming Grove. He's dealing with other parts of his business, pools or whatever they're doing. And I can't say that every truck that TAM is, you know, that's taking water is going to South Blooming Grove. I don't know, but I'm making that assumption. We don't ask.
I know,
They
there's
want the water.
Sunday, 4 trucks, Sunday, on
Yeah.
a Sunday. Do we have any time thing on repairing that fence from
Yes.
looking at it as a liability thing?
The fence
lock on the
company was
fence?
in there last Thursday. They put posts in the areas where we will fence off for the sewer plant and for the DPW building. And then a truck damaged the new gate that we just had installed, and that's due to get replaced and paid for by the hauler. So that's where we are. The door can't be shut because it's broken and jammed up. So that's where we are. But the gates for the sewer plant and DPW are supposed to be done ASAP. So we're expecting them any day to come in and get it done.
Charging TAM the same thing we charged
Yes,
Spindler,
yes.
$120.
You know, we're charging them the same thing, and the same, and if Blooming Grove is falling to a development that where they had a water emergency, they're getting billed the same thing.
And the other thing that we spoke about in the email, the food trucks. In the resolutions that you had with the food trucks, where they were spending $100 a month to, you know, be operating the village.
It's
Anyway,
400 a month.
I'm sorry, 400.
100 a week.
400 a week. 100, I thought it was 100, okay, 400. Part of that resolution, and I don't remember you saying it when you read it, about them pulling up and parking and staying in a location for an extended period of time.
Yeah, and that was the purpose of having this kiosk, is that they could be temporarily located in a spot for a period of time. Because our goal was to get Sewell Park to a point where we could get a couple of vendors down there, and they could basically park their vehicles, and if they wanted to stay there Monday through Friday, or Thursday through Sunday, and leave their vehicles there, as long as they're maintained, clean, secure, obviously, nothing, no garbage, et cetera, because it says that when they're done, their garbage needs to be removed nightly by them and taken away. And our receptacles are for our customers, our people, our residents, not for their garbage. So that's the way it was.
I just think, you approved a number of those resolutions for food trucks. I just think if every one of those food trucks tomorrow decided to pick a spot in the village parking lot or somewhere, it looks.
Well,
It looks
if
trashy.
anybody who wants to do it, they have to fill out a permit.
I
The
understand.
village
but
board
then
makes
to
the
stay there-
decision, it makes the decision of, number one, is there any food that's conflicting with anything that we already have? No.
I know, but I
Okay,
thought,
so-
Tom, you're talking about something different. I'm talking about, at the end of the day, they should hook up, drive back to whatever their storage facility is, and if they wanna come back tomorrow, drive back, unhook, and set up. Not to get there for 3, 4, 5 a week. The guy that's in the village hall parking lot, been there since I came back on July 9th.
Yeah.
And it's just, are they gonna be, they could be all over the village. It just looks like,
Well, I'm not gonna, but again, not going all over the village because we control where they go. I can't control what's on Fulton Square, if the owner of Sultan Square says, you know, this taco guy can sell whatever. It's private property, that's, you know, his deal. But anything that's on our property, we control. And if they don't fill out the permits, and they don't pay their fees, and they don't get their inspection by the building department for fire and safety and showing us driver's license, registration, the Department of Health certificate, and their insurance naming a village as an additional insured, it don't happen.
Have we collected fees from them?
Yes, yes.
You didn't mention fire safety inspection yet.
Yeah. And we
very
know
much
what to,
care about the aesthetics of the village, we're not gonna let it look trashy.
yeah,
And
and we're testing
I
the
think,
waters.
and for that, exactly what you said, having a food truck parked 24 hours a day for X number of days, it doesn't meet the aesthetics of the village. No matter where it comes here today, it's a food truck. It comes here today, it parks, it does its business. At the end of the day, it hooks up, goes back to its own storage facility. And then if it wants to come back tomorrow, drives back down there, it has wheels on it, that's why it's a food truck. Drives back down there, unhooks or sets up and works that day. I just, you know, to be there, to be a permanent fixture. And, you know, I can see we don't want ruts in this field, but it just doesn't look good. And I thought that was the intent of the resolutions. I don't remember anything in the resolutions about being anywhere for a temporary period of time. It just said that they can set up operations anywhere in the village, but it's a food truck. It's a mobile food service. Mobile. We come, we set up, we sell our stuff, we hook up, we go back to our own store. We're gonna charge you $400 a month. Are we also charging storage fees?
No. And we're testing the
That's
waters
what I'm
like a
saying.
lot of communities. And, you know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But so far, she's a good tenant, she's paying her fees, and she's serving really good food. And people are talking about it, and other people could be coming by and wanna check it out.
I'm not talking about one in particular. I'm talking
No,
about
I'm just saying
in general, all
Yeah,
of them.
that's what I'm talking in
And that's
general.
tomorrow.
It's a valid point,
Yeah.
maybe we can discuss it.
Go ahead.
No, I don't mean now, I mean.
Okay. Thank you. Pat?
I had a bunch of food trucks I insured years ago, and one of the conditions of the insurance was, and they had good prices on the insurance, you had to drive back and forth because of the type of vehicle that it was defined by the insurance company. What Paul is saying, if you look at ask their insurance policies and see if they have that exclusion, or you won't have any insurance.
That would say what?
The reason, what?
It's
That would
limited
say
or
what?
override.
It's an exclusion or a warranty. One of them would state whether they're allowed to do that. The reason they'd have to take them home is because they had a bad problem with the stealing and the vandalism and malicious mischief. That area was a problem.
Sure.
And very good areas, and it ends up being horrible areas
Okay.
because of that mistake.
It's a valid
Yeah, we can
point.
check
It's
into
a
that.
valid point.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, just on that same vein, it might behoove the board to ask if they were told that you can park there, you can come here from, say, 8 AM to 7 PM or whatever the time is, but you gotta get your vehicle off the property and back to wherever it came from on a daily basis. Would we then not have anybody want to come here? Would they say, no, we're not gonna come, we're not gonna do that, you know, it's okay if I can park my truck Monday to Friday or whatever from this time period? Because this is kind of a mixed message, I think, from the crowd here, is make money, make money, make money. And every time you have an idea of making money, it's, this idea is not good, this is wrong, this is wrong. So I think it
So
might
what's the
be
right idea?
beneficial to, well, me personally, I don't really eat much at food trucks, so if they're here or not here, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
you know, it's not gonna really have much impact on
Because
me
your wife
personally.
cooks you great meals.
Well,
I see them.
there's a whole gamut of reasons, but.
That's another subject.
Yeah, there's another issue there, but, well, not issue, but, But that would be, you know, something, if we're saying, this is a business model that we wanna do, is have food trucks here, and we say to food trucks, we're gonna put this restriction on you, whether it's insurance restriction, or, you know, because of their insurance, they should be doing it, or if they have an exclusions, they don't have to do it. But if we say they have to do it, are they gonna say, well, no, I'm gonna go somewhere else then with my truck?
Sure.
So
Because
it
this
defeats the
is new,
purpose.
we don't know, right? So.
There was an ice cream guy who decided he wasn't interested. So, but he wanted to travel, and you know what, if he wanted to travel, and he's still gonna pay his $400, and he wanted to be there Saturday and Sunday and do other things Monday through Friday, okay. You're welcome to do so.
Yeah.
She likes the location, she likes the village. They've been involved in the other events and were very successful, and, you know, vendors like this, you know, that's why it's on wheels, right? I can be here tomorrow, I could be over there today, Tuesday I'm gonna be in Cornwall, Thursday I'm gonna be in, who cares? It's just, they're transient, and that's, you know, kind of the beauty of it. But if you also had somebody who wanted to, you know, put a stake in the ground for 2 months, 3 months, or whatever it is, and we're collecting rent and there's no problem, then, you know, it's a change, it's something to monitor and see how it goes.
Yeah, like I said,
We're
I mean,
always
I don't-
stepping out
I
of the
don't have
box
any impact on-
here.
It doesn't have any
Really,
impact personally on me, so.
Yeah, no, I know.
Unless you bring Allen's over here, that'd be something different. but-
Mm.
And you're helping the vendors too. You know, they
Yeah.
probably,
It's
the
a
back and
win-win,
forth, the back
because-
and forth is an additional cost.
Yeah.
And like he's saying,
And it's
they
a
may turn
nuisance.
around and say, forget it, I'll go park somewhere else, and then now we've lost.
Well, and then they can find somebody else where they could potentially, you know, put a stake in the ground, and I don't have to move it, which is a convenience for sure. If anybody owns a trailer or a camper or anything like that, I mean, thinking, getting up every day, hooking it, unhooking it, it's not fun, and it's time and material, so, we'll see. Like I said, we're testing the waters. So far, it's been fun. So far, it's been okay.
One other thing related to a discussion in a prior meeting, the Blooming Grove, South Blooming Grove's petition to have their own ambulance service. I think that Susan said, she gave some statistics in that thing, and it was like less than 10% of the calls of our ambulance corps were going to South Blooming Grove. But we would lose like $87,000 a year of tax money that would then not be paid to this ambulance corps, but another ambulance corps, and that's actually more than 10% of the annual budget that we, you know, I looked at my tax bill,
Yeah.
pay $507,000, and 87 is much more than 10% of that, so they're paying for more than the
they're
ratio of
actually
calls they're
using.
getting, so, but I don't, you know, so that's something that, you know, that they may consider. I don't know what EMS, the county EMS is gonna do and say whether they'll approve that or not. But,
I don't know.
it would be something I would think, you know, from a logical perspective. For $87,000, you can't start an ambulance corps.
No.
There's no, you can't buy the truck, right? Buy one truck, so I'm not sure how they plan on doing this without totally destroying the tax structure. Although they
Well,
are,
you're
their
in-
population is growing, their tax base is gonna go way up, but
Yeah.
still. I don't know, what is the follow-up that we'll get from EMS? Will this be something that'll drag out for?
Well,
For
there's
decades
supposed
or
to
years
be a meeting and a resolution by the Hudson Valley, I'll call them council.
Hmm.
I haven't seen anything as far as when they're gonna have that meeting, and they're supposed to vote on it.
Do we, but we don't know, I mean, the
I
date
don't
of
know
that's
when
not
it is.
fixed.
I'll actually reach out to, our ambulance corps captain and paramedic chief and see if they know. If it's a public meeting, then I'm sure they'd be there for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay,
Hey,
I even told him to turn his phone off for the meeting.
he doesn't listen. Okay. Anything else? All right, if there's no further business, can I have a motion to close the meeting?
Close.
Second. Eric's got the second. And any questions or comments on that? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0-1. Thank you very much, everybody.
Figure it out.
Have a lovely evening.
you don't gotta go home.